What's going on, everybody? Jay the Black here. I am back with another video. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Eddie Murphy. Apparently, Eddie Murphy served his now child's mother, because he has children from a previous marriage and another one from a previous, relationship, as you can call it. He served her with prenup papers. Okay, now Eddie Murphy went through a very nasty divorce from Nicole Murphy. She ended up leaving the relationship with $15 million and also his last name, and that would make any man want to make sure that the next time he got married, he would handle business before walking down the aisle. But they were together for a long time, so But anyway, I know people are going to have an issue with this, especially women, because what I've noticed is that women love getting married because there's really no downside to a woman getting married. There's none. Divorce isn't. Being married isn't. Women know that either way they're going to be good. But it's us as men who are always the ones who have to deal with the fallout of a failed marriage. Eddie Murphy is a guy who had to deal with that. He had to pay an ex to go away, basically. And he doesn't want to have to do that again. And the thing is that he's going to get criticized for this because you have females out there who really feel that a man should put his financial security in jeopardy just to prove his love. And that is stupid, because we all know women approach relationships in a business-like manner. They approach marriage in a business-like manner because the majority of them are the ones filing the divorces, because they know that when they file a divorce, they're going to leave that relationship with more than what they had coming in, unless they were the breadwinners. And it's very rare that you're going to see a woman marry a man who has way less than them. I was looking at this article from Hot New Hip Hop, okay? And according to Radar Online, Eddie wasn't going to marry his girlfriend Paige Butcher unless she signed those prenup papers. And they've been together for years. They've been together for a little while. They have a child together, and actually she's pregnant with their second child. Okay. Now, for those of you who may not know, he was in a relationship with Tracy Edmonds. She is the ex-wife of Babyface Edmonds, or Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, and she still has his last name. Now, currently she's dating Deion Sanders, but they split because they were going to have a marriage ceremony, and he presented her with a prenup, and she promptly refused, which I knew she was going to do, because Tracy is a very intelligent woman. She's a businesswoman. She sees marriage as a business. That's why you see her in relationships with Babyface and with Eddie, and now with Deion. She wants to be with a man with money and prestige. Bag chasers, Tracy Edmonds is a bag chaser, and I think Eddie does not want to be in the position to be with a woman who, if the marriage isn't what she wants, she can just hire a lawyer and file a divorce and walk away with millions of dollars and probably even his last name. And I think that's something he doesn't want. Okay. And I understand that. We as men, we have to cover our backside. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen is that if we don't take care of business first, we're going to end up losing a lot. And if a woman truly wants to get married, because there's a lot of women out there who desperately want to get married, according to them, they will sign these prenups. But women understand that marriage is a benefit for them, whether they're in that marriage or divorcing out of that marriage. So if you are a woman and you desperately want to get married, you better sign any kind of paperwork that is presented in front of you, because no man is going to marry you without one. Now, I know some of you guys who are pessimistic. You're going to say, well, that prenup doesn't mean anything. Well, according to this article, the prenup is a coffin type prenuptial agreement. Coffin type, which means that there is no loopholes. There is no way to squeak and eke your way out of it. When you sign it, it's ironclad. So if that's the case, she will only get what is in that agreement. Or if anything, just look at Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, I believe, signed a paperwork. I don't know if it was a prenup, but she signed paperwork to where she had to be married for 5 years in order to be able to get a sizable sum to, after that, if she wanted to divorce. And she waited 5 years, she had a baby, and then she promptly divorced her ex. Okay? These women are very strategic. See, women think differently than men when it comes to relationships. Relationships ain't about love for the majority of women. I wish women would stop saying that. Just be honest. It's about business. When you get with a man who has more money than you, is more successful than you, it's about business. It ain't got nothing to do with no love. Why do you think most of these women don't marry the Pookies and Ray Rays? They're not marrying them because they bring no value to them. But I bet they love them. That's why they date them. That's why the majority of boyfriends are usually dudes who are way less successful than them. But as soon as they meet a successful guy, you trying to tell me all of a sudden now you're submissive, you're in love, you want to get married, but you won't sign that prenup. You won't sign that prenup. But women can find ways around a prenup though. Like, let's say they sign a prenup. They could still have children, That'll be their ticket out, is by having children. That's why a lot of men who have money and resources, if you can fight for full custody of your children, you should do so. Or to have sort of like a payable, child support. But I feel like women should only get child support if they're showing signs of getting employment, but that's another video. Eddie, like I said, Eddie went through this. And I think that because he went through this before, he doesn't want to go through it again. Men who went through bad divorces, most of the time don't even want to get remarried. But when you have a man who is rich and successful, and let's say that his brand works if he's married, then they're going to get married again. That's why you see a lot of actors get married again. It helps their image, which in turn helps their career, and Eddie still wants that. I think Eddie still wants to be married. He wants to have that. I think he's been with her this female long enough. Her name is Paige Butcher. Long enough to, I guess, to see that she's worth marrying. And I just think that most of the time nowadays men just don't care about marriage. They don't see any benefit in getting married. They don't see the point of putting your financial future in jeopardy in order to make a female feel secure about that relationship and feel happy. Because if a woman is happy to see you basically signing away your financial future by signing, marriage paperwork, you're getting married to her and she knows that no matter what, she's good, but you're screwed. That's not a woman you should be marrying. It's 2018, people. If you, especially a lot of you females, if you want to get married, you're gonna have to sign paperwork. Like if I was to ever get married and financially I'm doing good, maybe a little bit better than the female I'm with, I'm still going to present paperwork, because in most states prenups are enforceable. There are certain states where you can get out of it, but not every state. That's not an every state thing, even though a lot of rich and successful people, let's say they live in California, or they may live in Florida, or they may live in New York, and maybe the laws allow certain loopholes, but for other places, those prenups are very much enforceable, and that's exactly why the majority of women don't sign them. Because if prenups weren't enforceable, women would sign them. And the fact that there are women who are unwilling to sign them lets you know that they are enforceable. But that does not mean that a man still wants to be married nowadays. You know, there are men out there that like their freedom. They want to be able to go from one relationship to another because they like dating, or they like to be alone most of the time. You got certain guys, they like to be alone for a couple of months, and then there's a time period where they're dating again, you know, casually. They may get into a couple of, you know, relationships where they're with a female for an extended period of time, then they'll go back to being single again, where they're just alone. That's just how a lot of men are these days, because they don't want to get caught up in the wave of alimony. They don't want to get caught up in a wave of paying a woman a lump sum off, or having to pay your ex's debt, or having to give her your house that you paid for. So I just think that Eddie is smart, and I don't disagree with him wanting to do that. The fact that he's willing to get married again lets me know that he really feels strongly about this particular female. So y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts.